Yoav.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So we are KiWi Power. We develop and commercialize a technology called demand response. Show of hands, demand response, who's heard of it? That's pretty good. Okay, so that's great. So I'll do a quick introduction of what demand response is. It's something which is very common in the North American grid system and something that's virtually unknown in the rest of the world, and we're trying to do something about that. So the idea is that most grids operate in the same way. You've got demand on one side and supply on the other, and the grid moves electricity from one place to the other, and 99% of the time the grid is in balance and it works great. 1% of the time, around 100 hours of the year, we have a peak in demand because people are using electricity at the same time, because there's a sporting event or it's very cold, like today. And what the national grid does in every country is keep around peaking power stations to cover that additional load. The peaking power stations are very, very polluting, very, very expensive. They tend to be older stations. But if we didn't have them, we'd have a blackout every time everyone made some tea at the same time. So what demand response does is puts in a set of software and hardware at the grid and in customer sites. Instead of switching on power, we turn down power temporarily. And in fact, what's happening is rather than paying these peaking power stations, we're paying customers to turn down their demand. So what we're doing is we're replacing this, which is a very expensive, very polluting peaking power station, with this, which is smarter control of our homes and our offices. And we're doing it really for three reasons. We're doing it because it's greener. It's much, much greener to turn down some power than it is to burn diesel. We're doing it because it's better for integrating renewables into a grid. And we're doing it because it's cheaper. And this is effectively how we do it. This is sort of a breakdown of the process. We spend most of our time on the very first bit because this is a fairly novel concept. So we work to educate customers this is possible. We send engineers to do audits, and we figure out what can be turned down in a hospital, in a shopping center, in a hotel without affecting anyone. We install our metering and communication devices and basically the box that makes all this happen. We calibrate and operate, and then we bill. And one of the nice things for businesses when we do this, when we bill, we're actually not billing them because all of this is free. So we install the hardware, we do the audits, everything's free to the end customer. We charge National Grid, and National Grid pays us, and we pay the customer. National Grid does it because it's cheaper for them than it is to keep a power station on standby and to burn all that diesel when they need it. We provide the customer with a bunch of software to help them see their own demand and to manage stuff, and just some pretty screenshots, and we found that this is something customers really, really like. I talk about customers. We've been around for about 3 years, so we've got quite a few customers we're working with now. Broadly split between commercial, industrial, and institutional. We're seeing a lot of demand from this from government sites. It's a really, really good way for them to save money in their electricity bill. It doesn't cost anything, and it's a green initiative they can do pretty much straight away. But we've got some really big names on the commercial industrial side as well. That's my 5 minutes. Wow, I speak quickly. So that's more or less us. Like I say, we're about 3 years old. We're based here in London. We've got more or less a 25-member team. We've got a small market in Israel as well, and a couple of others we're looking at this year. That's pretty much it. Thank you.